Hello and welcome back to the Everything F1 podcast. My name is Sean, and joining me for the preview of the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix are Taylor. Good evening.
Good evening.
And Coops. Good evening.
Hello.
Hello, hello, hello. We are Everything F1. Do check us out on all socials. You'll find us at JoinEF1 everywhere except TikTok, where we're at EF1 Official. You can also check out our website, everythingf1.com, for daily news and articles about all things Formula One and motorsport in general. Also, check out our fantastic sponsors, theraceworks.com, for all of your F1 and motorsport merch needs, and use our code EF1 at checkout for 10% off site wide. Thanks as always to theraceworks.com for their continued support of the podcast. We have a bit of a giveaway for you. All you have to do is head over to our YouTube channel and subscribe to it. It's as simple as that. And we are going to be giving away Lego F1 Speed Champion sets to some lucky subscribers. Simplest thing in the world. Like I said, all you have to do is subscribe to our YouTube channel. You'll find us Everything F1, all one word, over on YouTube. When we hit 500 subscribers, we'll pick one lucky winner to win a Lego set. And when we hit 1,000 subscribers, we'll pick another one. It's as simple as that. So head over to Everything F1 on YouTube, all one word, and hit subscribe there. Thank you very, very much in advance. Let's move on to the preview of Saudi Arabia, because of course we are in literally the middle of our triple header. Started in Japan, went to Bahrain, and now we're coming to Saudi Arabia this weekend. Let's have a bit of info about the track. The Jeddah Corniche circuit, 6.174 kilometers long. It'll be a 50-lap race. It's been on the calendar since 2021, amongst a little bit of controversy, but it has actually thrown up some pretty decent racing in that time, which is good to see. Last year's race saw Max Verstappen on pole, to nobody's surprise, and the podium was Max Verstappen, Sergio Perez, and Charles Leclerc. That would be interesting to have a double Red Bull and Ferrari podium this week. It's probably a little bit unlikely, but it has been an interesting one. The race has been won all but one time by Red Bull. Max Verstappen has two wins, Sergio Perez has one, and Lewis Hamilton Mercedes won the first race back in 2021. So then, Saudi Arabia, let's get into it. Taylor, what are you expecting from this weekend? A similar sort of story to Bahrain in terms of the finishing grid, or as we were saying in the Bahrain review, are we finally going to maybe see George Russell get a win? What are you expecting for this weekend?
We could absolutely, as long as he keeps it, clean and does what he's been doing all season, I don't see why not. But obviously, the the fastest car on the grid is the McLaren, so it's going to be very, very tough to beat them. I think we'll probably and most likely see a McLaren on the front. Will it be Oscar? Will it be Lando? I have absolutely no idea, but I'll stick my neck out and say Lando, just because he'll come back from a punishing defeat and grab the pole and grab the top step of the podium, just to kind of throw it back in everyone else's face, just to show he has got the skills to lead this championship and do what he can. As I say, I think he will win a championship. I think this is his best possible option, but I think he's going to be like a one-time champ, like a Jenson Button, or all the other one-time champs out there.
Yes, I would agree with you. I've been saying that all season. But Coops, you've been particularly this time around after Bahrain. You have been a bit critical of him. The Bahrain was not great, as we've spoken about. Do you think, like Taylor, that he might bounce back this weekend, or has Oscar just got under his skin now?
I don't think it's about Oscar being under Norris's skin, but I think it's not about if he will bounce back, he has to.
Hmm.
It's if Oscar Piastri wins three of the first, is it five? Is this the fifth round? If Oscar wins the third one, then what are McLaren going to do? That's three from five. That's
Six.
six.
Yeah.
We're in a bit of a situation then for Norris. I mean, where does he go from here?
Hmm.
Does he come out to the press and talk about how clueless he is in Formula One again? Like, that's bolted now. That's something that's going to get old very quick. Um, so yeah, I don't think it's will he or he could or he has to. There's no way around it.
But this track should, on his own performances and successes, should suit him potentially a little bit better than Oscar. We've seen in the past year where Lando has been at his best was Japan twice. That fast flowing circuit. Um, And Zandvoort, for example, he was very, very quick there. Hungary, he stuck it on pole and was screwed over by strategy and stuff like that. He lost the lead at the start, but in terms of pure pace, those fast flowing, constant corner sort of tracks does seem to suit him in this car. So to it's going to be close between them, but I think I'd side with you on this one. I think Coops, I completely agree. He has to do it, but then I think he will. And I suppose the question then is who will be around him? Are Ferrari going to come back? Lewis Hamilton was saying after Bahrain that he understands the car a lot better, and he seems happier after that race.
Yeah, and a previous winner as well, like you said earlier. Yeah, this season's great. It's really, really unpredictable. I could sit here and say X, Y, and Z, and it can be completely different. A completely different order. It's just really fun, really exciting to see. It could be any one of those teams. Leclerc had a brilliant race in Bahrain as well, so I could see absolutely him outperforming the car as well, and putting it up there. He's a great qualifier. I'm just enjoying the season, to be honest with you, and predictions wise, it's really, really hard to do. But I, it'll be Mercedes, it'll be Ferrari, it'll be McLaren, the usual suspects. Max could even have a surprise great weekend, even after the terrible weekend that he just had in Bahrain. So yeah, I can't really tell you who's going to be, what's going to happen. It's just really interesting, and obviously it is a quick track, so it will suit the faster cars, which are the McLarens. So I do see the dominance probably moving forward for Saudi. But given a good weekend, any one of those other teams could take advantage of a bad strategy call or a silly little mistake around one of the 27 corners that they've got around the track. It's pretty brutal.
Yeah, it certainly is. It's very much it's a driver's track. I mean, the cars it's a really fast track, but it's very high downforce track. Because of how high speed the corners are. So it's the drivers that can make a difference. An extra kilometer an hour through a corner make a huge amount of difference. But on that one, Coops, what do you think of the track? Like, do you like it? It came in under a mire of controversy. There was quite literally a missile strike during FP3 a couple of years ago. We're now hearing talk that South Africa, when it comes back, won't be Kyalami, which is a disgrace, but will instead be another street circuit around around a football stadium or around a street circuit. But this one, Azerbaijan, they're not all bad. What do you think of Saudi Arabia and the track?
I think the track's good because it's quite challenging for the drivers. So it's a proper race in a sense, and you know that they have to concentrate because those walls will bite. I mean, look at Mick Schumacher a couple of years ago, hit the curbs the wrong way, and woof, that was some accident. I don't think he even competed in the race after
Mm,
that one.
the big one.
Uh, it was a big one, and so yeah, in terms of the track itself, I don't have a problem with it. I think there's been enough going on. Like I just touched on, Mick Schumacher's accident for one was quite a big one, not one you see very often. The brake test sort of situation and the games that Max Verstappen and Hamilton played in that
Mm,
infamous 2021 season. There was a lot going on, a lot of things to remember. A bit like Singapore, I kind of put it in the same set thing as that. It kind of came out with controversy and moments almost instantly. I mean, there's the conversations we can have about the political aspect of Saudi Arabia being on the calendar is a different podcast and one that would probably take a long time to
mm.
kind of discuss, and we would probably
And
never
we have
get to a
touched on it many times before too.
We have.
yeah. And we were not, and it's one of those ones where you're never really going to satisfy everyone.
Mm,
There's always going to be an argument kind of for and mostly against, but there will be some voices for and against. It's a very difficult one to kind of really objectify properly. But in terms of the track itself, I think it's quite an interesting one to watch and see how they go, especially this time with the six rookies that we've got. And I don't think many of them, maybe Veerman with the exception. I don't know if the rest of them have actually driven on it. I'm
mm.
not 100% sure. I don't think they have. Uh,
The Formula 2 graduates would have, because F2 raced there last year, because that's how obviously Ollie Behrman was pulled out of Formula 2 into Formula 1 last season. But it's a different kettle of fish. Formula Two cars are not even like Formula Two cars are rapid quick, and Formula Two is a great season, but they're not even remotely close to on nodding terms with Formula One cars around this track.
Mm.
They right off the bat, their steering is way heavier than Formula One cars, so they can't take as much corner, and they don't corner as fast and sharp, which you need at this track. But actually, as you mentioned him, I was going to bring him up next. Ollie Behrman obviously had his debut race here last year for Ferrari, finished an absolutely spectacular seventh, and as we've spoken about many times at this point now, he is a superstar. Tiller, how do you think? Do you think he's going to be excited coming back here this weekend? And what did you make of his performance last year, and just how he's going so far this year?
Yeah, it was a standout performance, wasn't it? It was, to get that call on the Friday morning. Yeah, you need to stop the prep for F2 because you're actually going to be in the F1 car this weekend to get it where it is. Did you say P7 was it?
Seventh, yeah.
Um, yeah, it's just amazing for a first time race in an F1 car in a Ferrari as well. So yeah, he'll be excited. He'll be hoping to kind of replicate some of that, amazing racecraft that he showed last year. He isn't in the Ferrari this year, so obviously he's going to have that disadvantage. But yeah, I think he'll do a good job. I'm looking forward to how well they can all do. Really, I've really been enjoying Antonelli as well, and I think he'll perform superbly. I think you're right. The rookies are going to entertain us this weekend, I think.
Yeah, I completely agree. Antonelli's a good call out as well. We mentioned in George Russell a couple of times, but he had a great race in Bahrain. All things considered, got a little bit screwed by strategy and pitting and the safety car. But yeah, he's proving that 10,000 kilometers of preseason testing and a dollop of talent is the right way to enter Formula One. Quick one then on the midfield battle, which I think is fascinating at the moment. Alpine proved that without an engine heavy track, that car is as decent as it looked in testing. And this weekend, yes, it's high speed, but it's high speed corners, not necessarily high top speed, unlike some of the others. So could we see another Alpine points all this weekend, Coops?
Oh, definitely. I think there's a chance for Haas, Alpine, Williams all to get something.
Mm.
They all seem to be doing particularly well. I think the only two teams that you're probably unlikely to get anything from are Aston Martin and Sauber.
Yeah.
Everybody else has got a chance to get points. The Racing Bulls, the car was slow in Bahrain, and there are similar types of corners to Saudi. So maybe the Racing Bulls as well, you could kind of, if they look into it, they might get around the 10th, 11th mark, but I don't see them getting points. But yeah, it's up for grabs between Alpine, Haas, and Williams. And Carlos, if he can get himself hooked up and not get a Yuki Tsunoda diving into the side of him or whoever it was that took out the radiators in that Williams, he can definitely be up there as well. He seems to start, he's got himself kind of more bedded in. Difficult first few races for him, but yeah, definitely looks like any of those kind of 3 or 4 teams could probably pick something up.
Yeah, it's going to be fascinating this weekend, just in general, as we've spoken about, like the fight all throughout the it's a good championship this year. The races have not been the most interesting. Japan was unfortunately a snooze fest. Australia was made exciting by a bit of rain and a bit of drama at the very, very end. But in terms of like the competition, this is what happens at the end of a rule cycle, isn't it? It's that everybody closes up except Sauber.
Well, yeah, and Aston Martin just forget what they were doing at the start of the rule cycle and go the wrong way.
Mm.
Yeah, this is the problem when you've got the end of a rule cycle where people are why change it because it'll get very stagnant very quick. Because the reason that it's so concertinaed in is because you've kind of reached that development window of these cars. There's not really anywhere else to go. You're kind of this is it. You get minor tweaks. It's a lot of hard work to get maybe 1 or 2 tenths. And it's only teams that have really dropped the ball that could maybe get something. Like you're at Aston Martin at the minute, Sauber if they get their ship in order. So it's kind of a misnomer in that sense because people are like, oh, keep it because it's this, but no, that's this because of other reasons. And if you keep it, it will just get stagnant. And it'll be interesting how it works next season. I think next season's cars are going to be it's very much on the bubble if it's going to work. But that's a whole other topic.
That is very much a topic for another day. But we did get confirmation that the V10s aren't happening for 2026. Not that we thought the V10s were going to happen for 26. Anybody who thought that was being extraordinarily delusional, I think. But they are not off the table for the future, just not happening next year. Interestingly, a big factor I think this weekend is going to be a little bit like the track surface will be affected this weekend because it's nowhere close to as abrasive um, as Bahrain. I don't think it's going to rain. Um, I'll do a quick search of the Jeddah weather right now. I don't think it's going to rain, and there is support series this weekend again. We've got Formula One Academy is returning for Jeddah, and Formula Two are racing in Jeddah, so there's still at least one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, 8 sessions in between Formula One sessions from support series. And no, it is absolutely not going to rain. It'll be it'll be 28 degrees on Sunday night when the race is on in Saudi Arabia. So it'll be a sweaty one. So we don't have rain to play into, but that high temperature, track surface, tires degrading. Hopefully, we're going to see another bit of a strategy battle this weekend. Do you think?
Yeah, I think the thing about Suzuka was that for Formula One, especially now, where everyone's so close together and the cars are very, very particular in how they work, and most people know what they're doing, not including Sauber in that statement.
Mm.
Uh, you need variables, whether it be degradation with tires, whether it be weather, or even the track surface or temperatures. You need things in there to cause things to shake things up. Suzuka had the first sector was resurfaced, so there was
Hmm.
no degradation at all. The temperature was at a point where everyone could cope with it, and the cars, you can't get close to the cars because of the dirty air as they call it.
And even if you could, you couldn't go too wide into any corner anyway.
Yes. So the variables that would make it, weather, degradation, and temperatures, weren't a factor. So when you have a race with no degradation for any car, it doesn't matter how they worked them, they
Mm.
just didn't degrade. So that everyone had the same strategy, you aren't going to get a race. Whereas Bahrain has high deg track, you had multiples, you had soft tires, medium tires, hard tires. People were saying the hards were crap. Some of them were going, they're actually not too bad. Some didn't like the softs. And I think Saudi might not be to the Bahrain extreme, but it's going to be somewhere around that. There's
Mm.
going to be things to talk about, and obviously the track is just a really challenging track in general. Uh, so I'll eat my words, but I don't think we'll have a Suzuka style race. I think there'll be something. Whether it's going to be this kind of is I was talking to Morgan, my son, about it, and he actually said during the race at Bahrain, it's a classic Formula One race, Bahrain, because it was about strategy. It was about overtaking, the variables weren't crashes and red flags, and okay, there was a safety car. It was a very minor one, but there was still stuff going on. And it
Mm.
was all about, right, who's going to be in the right tyre at the right moment. Arguably, Norris was at the right tyre at the right moment, but just couldn't quite get past Russell. Russell done a really good job. Piastri nailed it. Behrman done really well. There was a lot of storylines going on, which we would have seen more of if they knew how to direct it. But anyway, so yeah, I think we're looking to a decent classic race for Saudi, and I'm looking forward to it, to be fair.
Yep, so am I. I do love a triple header. We will have to. I won't be as excited when it's over because we have a 2 week break to Miami.
Mhm.
And we'll save all the many thoughts we have on that for next week. But before we finish up, I'd love to get your final thoughts on what you think this weekend is going to play out as. So your pole position and top three in the race, please.
Pole position. I'm going to go with Piastri again. I think he's on a bit of a good wave at the minute, so I'm going to
Mm.
stick him up there. Top three. Just because I want to keep the championship with McLaren going, I'm going to say Norris will win this. I think it'll be Norris, Piastri. Oh, my wild card as well as third will be Hamilton.
Interesting. Interesting. I am going to go for Lando Norris pole position. I'm going to call the top three. I'm going to be kind of boring about it, but I think there'll be fights in the midfield, but I don't know that we're going to get fights up the front. But I'm going to call it as Lando will win the race from George Russell because I think he's going to just be there relentlessly. And Charles Leclerc, he was on the podium here last year. That Ferrari floor will probably help them a lot more in Saudi Arabia. It's a much more high downforce track than Bahrain is. And obviously all of the downforce in current Formula One cars comes from the floor. So whatever they've done to that, I think is going to be a bigger benefit to them in Saudi Arabia. But we shall see. I will give you the times for this weekend. UK Ireland times as always for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix this weekend. We're looking at Friday. 2:30 in the afternoon for practice one, 6 o'clock in the evening for practice two. Saturday, 2:30 in the afternoon again for practice three, 6 o'clock in the evening again for qualifying, and the race would be at 6 o'clock on Sunday evening. So another lovely Sunday afternoon, evening weekend, which is nice. We are done with those horrible early mornings until November, which is nice. Yes, big thumbs up to that one. Um, Yes, so Saudi Arabian Grand Prix this weekend, and then we have a 2 week break off until Miami. So let's hope it's a good one and we go out on a bit of a high after this so far 50-50 triple header. Let's hope it can end on a bit of a high. That'll do it for us. Thank you very, very much for listening. This has been the Everything F1 podcast. I have been Sean. Thank you to Coops.
Thank you.
And thank you to Taylor, who we unfortunately lost midway through then. But thank you as always to him. We'll be back next week with our review of the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. So wherever you are listening, do hit subscribe, whether you are on podcast channels or on YouTube. Hit subscribe, and you will get the next episode into your earlobes as soon as it drops. In the meantime, you can check us out on all socials at JoinEF1 or at EF1 Official on TikTok. You check out our website, everythingf1.com, for daily news and articles. As I said, triple header, lots of support series this weekend. We will have lots of information about all the feeder series, Formula One Academy, and Formula 2 this weekend, as well as the Formula One news. And of course, check out our sponsors, theraceworks.com, for all of your F1 and motorsport merch needs. Final shout out again to our giveaway over on our YouTube channel. Check us out, Everything F1, all one word, over on YouTube. And if you would like to win yourself a Lego F1 Speed Champions kit for the easiest thing you'll ever do, all you have to do is head over to our YouTube channel and subscribe. It's as simple as that. We're looking to grow it as quickly as we can. We're off to a great start with it. We'd love your help to get to 500 subscribers and 1,000 subscribers. And when we hit both of those marks, we will be giving away a Lego set. So head over Everything F1 on YouTube and hit subscribe. That's it. We will chat to you next week. Thank you very much. Goodbye.